one of the things we could do, for example, is when a district courts are overruled on points of fact repeatedly by the High Court. For example, we have to start asking ourselves questions about the district justice in question as to why every time it goes to another court sees completely different evidence than he apparently saw. And we need a system of doing that. And by the same token, in the High Court, that when it goes to the Supreme Court, that if a High Court judge's opinion is being constantly overturned in the Supreme Court, that we need to question whether that judge needs to be removed or not. Now, the Constitution, as currently written, already provides for that, for stated misbehaviour. But of course, the problem now at the moment is that the Supreme Court is just as corrupt. So we start there. We have to recognise in this country, it's been recognised in the United States already, is that appointments to the Supreme Court are political, and we have to fight about them, and we have to, if you like, not just let them run through. Because between Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, the rule has always been for Supreme Court nominations, or any nominations. It's your turn now. It's our turn next. It's your turn now. So even under Fianna Fáil governments, you still get Fine Gael judges appointed, but it's on the agreement that when we're in government, we'll appoint judges from your party. And that's how it works. When it comes up to the Supreme Court, there is usually agreement in Dáil Éireann as to who the next Supreme Court Justice will be. In the United States, we saw recently the Brett Kavanaugh appointment, blood and guts on the floor, literally, over who's going to sit on the Supreme Court, because they knew how bloody important it was and how it would play down. There's no perfect judicial system. At the end of the day, we're only just human beings. We're flawed human beings, but where the whole system is created for corruption, you will get corruption. So what we need to do is create a system where the appointment of a Supreme Court judge is a public issue, the same as a general election, as it is in the United States, and that public representatives are held responsible for the appointments that they make. And if we can do that, we can start to root out the corruption, because we can start then at the Supreme Court level. It'll be argued out in the media, and it'll be argued out in political circles, and appointments won't just be let pass. And if we have situations where district courts are constantly being overturned, we can look at why that is, and if the district court justice in question is not in fact just ignoring basic rule of law and evidence, and the same with the High Court. But it kind of starts with the Supreme Court, I think, is we need to understand that as flawed human beings, political appointments are made. And if political appointments are made, then political favours are owed. And we have to pay more attention to who is appointed to the Supreme Court. And we have to make it at least as contentious as a general election every time. Because what we have in Ireland is what they have had in the United States, which is a critocracy, which is a government by judges. In other words, they make law. They sit there and they decide. They decide on what they call unenumerated rights in the Constitution. That is to say, rights that just aren't there. They're not written there. You can flick through the entire book and there's nowhere are they referenced. But they say they're unenumerated, or they're implied. Or here's a classic phrase which is used all over the world, is the Constitution is a living document. No, it's not. It's a piece of paper with words on it. They need to be different words, by the way, than De Valera's 1937 constitution. There's a start. But when judges are making interpretations of law, they must be based on what is written on the page in front of them, not on this loose notion that they can make up their minds as to whatever they think they should do. And particularly in a country like Ireland, where a constitution can be changed by referendum, it's not that difficult to say that it doesn't need to be a living document. The United States Constitution has been there for 300 years. It's almost impossible to amend. You can make the argument that in order to modernize it, they have to make modern application. I think that's done too much. But in Ireland, if you get a Supreme Court case where a flaw, if you like, in the Constitution is revealed by a particular scenario, it can be sorted out by referendum. It's not a big deal. So that's, as the judicial system goes, in particular with regard to corruption, that's what needs. We need more focus on how the Supreme Court is appointed, and that needs to trickle down through the various courts. But your main point, like, how corrupt are Irish courts? Oh, once again, I'll use the phrase, if you only knew how bad things were.